I'm filming it right now. And you know what? There ain't a fucking thing you can do about it. You ain't no law enforcement officer. You don't have the authority out here in public at all. I'm not one of your fucking inmates. Yeah, I ain't in here. I'm out here. You were bothering the That's not proper. How is my camera a threat? What? Google called you a bot? That's okay. You know what? I got a top-down view from Google. I can come in real close. I mean, I have more information from Google than standing all the way out here, douchebag. Why don't you kiss my ass? I'm going to sleep. By all means.
Recording.
Hey sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing all right?
Do you mind if I start my camera?
That's fine, my camera's going as well.
All right, good. What's your name and badge number before we get started?
It's Trooper Jones with
and
the West Virginia
please,
State.
can you step back?
Hey, first of all, let's get some. Your name, sir?
TUGA.
Your real name?
I don't have to give that to you.
All right.
I haven't broken any laws,
okay.
have I?
Yes, sir. Actually, this is federal property. It doesn't.
No, that's federal property. This is a public road.
No, sir. You're parked on that side of the road.
No. See the fence right there?
Again, sir. Would you let me? Would you call me? Would you allow me to explain?
This is an easement, sir.
Would you allow me to explain?
I'm allowed to park alongside the road when my vehicle breaks down, right?
Okay. Is your vehicle broke down?
Certainly is.
Do you need a tow truck?
No, sir. I don't. It's overheated.
Okay. Again, like I said, this is federal property.
Easement.
Everything on this side.
No, sir. That's wrong. You're incorrect.
No, sir. It's not.
You're incorrect.
But again,
this is called an easement. You have 15 feet from the center of the road for people to walk, right?
No, sir, it's not.
Yes, sir. There is no sidewalk here.
It's not the way it works.
You're wrong, sir. I'm telling you. I've done this all over the state. I've done this all over the country. There's an easement.
I'm sure that you.
There's an easement. That is not federal property. See the fence? It says do not trespass.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
hey,
it doesn't say do not trespass here.
First of all, calm down.
You see that?
Hey, Trooper Beggs, go talk to them. Ask them how many times they've asked him to leave.
Do you see that?
And go from there. I can see. I can see the fence.
That is do not trespass.
Yes, sir. But again, all this in front of this.
No. He's telling me not to film. He said I can stand here.
Yeah, you can stand here. There's no what you're filming. There's no issue with that.
Right.
We're trying to get to the bottom of it to make sure there's nothing else going on.
This is an easement.
Yeah.
This is public property.
Like I said, what I'm trying to get at, okay, if you would sit and just calm down a minute. I'm sure that you've gone around the state, you've had other incidents with officers, those
for
states.
a very, very long time.
Okay.
I've filmed federal buildings, I've filmed prisons,
there's no law against that.
That's exactly right.
What we're trying to figure out is if there's a trespassing complaint, okay? There's no issues.
Trespassing sign right there, no fence?
Yes.
Is there one here?
Like I said, the property line runs all the way over to the roadway.
Is this their property right here?
Yes, sir.
No,
if
sir,
it's federal prison.
It's an easement.
No, sir. It's not the way that works.
This is state property right here.
Yes, this is federal property, okay?
That's federal property right there.
As soon as you come up the road here,
everything GIS survey.
Everything on this side is federal property.
GIS survey.
Everything on this
I have checked the GIS. I don't do this without making sure that this is public property and where not to go.
Would you allow me to explain?
Certainly.
Okay. Again, we're trying to see if there's a trespassing complaint. But you're getting excited over nothing. You're trying to go somebody into trying to violate your rights so you can sue.
There you go.
This isn't my first rodeo with incidents like this.
You're assuming again, aren't you?
Just like you're assuming that I'm here to arrest you or do something like that.
Well, that's their property right there.
Actually, all of this in front of it's their property. That mountain right there is their property.
It is not. That's ridiculous.
It is.
That's the most ridiculous. Come on, dude. You're gonna be laughing. They're gonna laugh at that one. Oh my gosh. Can you say that again? That mountain over there is...
Yes, everything up here is federal property on this side of the road.
No.
Not on this side.
No, listen. There's at least a 15-foot...
It's not a 15-foot easement.
15 or 25, depending on what size of the road is.
Okay, if you've done the research, it's 15 or 25.
Or if I'm riding my bicycle. The government has to provide a walkway, correct? Or an emergency pull-off.
And that's what the roadway's for.
Well,
there's no bicycle lanes here.
That's right. That's why you have to walk on the easement.
So again, like I said,
if the government put a bicycle lane in here, it'd be different, or sidewalk.
Like I said,
Otherwise, I can't walk on the road because it's illegal.
No, there's no law against walking on the road. No, there's not. Okay, you have to yield. Did you took your driver's handbook, right? You took your driving test. I'm sure in the driving book it says you have to yield.
I'm 55 years old, man.
Then you know you have to yield to pedestrians. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if I'm walking on the road like this, that's yielding to pedestrians.
You have to walk on the easement.
Again.
Otherwise, you can get a ticket for walking in the road.
That's only if a sidewalk is provided for you, okay?
There is no sidewalk provided. So
exactly, so there wouldn't be a citation there, okay?
All right.
So again, what we're trying to figure out is if there's a trespassing complaint. Do you understand that? There's no law against you filming or anything like that.
You tell me under threat of arrest,
did I say that? I never said that. I said we're here to. I'm investigating a trespassing complaint. Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out here. So, like I said, you video. There's no issue with that. Okay, but right now we're here to investigate.
You're threatening me that you're going to arrest me for trespass.
I never said that.
I will leave and I will take this up in court, in a civil court, with you and the government.
And again, that's what we're getting to.
No, again, these are the last resorts we have to use when we want to do an investigation on a prison.
No, sir. The investigation.
I'm an investigative journalist.
Do you have your ID on you? Do you have your investigative?
Do you need a ID for First Amendment speech?
No, sir. But if you're,
it's the same thing. The press is the First Amendment, dude.
Yes, but normally with the press and everything, they have IDs,
that's
right?
That's mainstream media. That's not press.
No, that isn't, sir.
Yes,
Anytime
sir,
that you have to show ID. You have to show ID when you go to public things. You do, because I've worked.
What government entity issues the press pass?
Again, sir, I'm trying to decide whether or not you're trespassing or not.
I'm an investigative journalist doing a story on this jail.
Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Have you set up appointments to talk to anybody?
Don't have to. That's why we have the First Amendment right to the press.
Yes, exactly. But if you're going to speak to somebody,
say fuck you if we want to. Not saying you.
Yes, I understand that. But do you understand? I'm here to.
I don't need a license to film.
No,
filming is not illegal.
I'm not
investigating and disseminating information as the press. Do not need a press pass.
No, sir. There's no law against filming.
Not.
So again, I'm asking
you asked me for a press pass, and I am not going to give it to you because I don't need one.
Did I? Okay, you don't have to give it to me. Again,
So, let's break it down.
Again, we're here on a trespassing complaint.
I got other places to be. I got other places to film. So if you're going to threaten to trespass me,
again, we're here to investigate. So again, I'll need to see your driver's license.
I did not break any law.
First of all, let me break something down for you. Under the state of West Virginia,
break any law.
Under the state of West Virginia, I can just not ask you.
That's not true.
It is.
You have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion
to
ask for. Listen,
we're here to investigate a trespass.
He'll take you to task.
That's fine. Again, I'm going to ask you for your driver's license.
I don't have it on me right now.
What? Can you tell me what your name and date of birth is, please?
I did not commit a crime.
Again, this is an investigation.
I am allowed to leave once ordered to leave by a law enforcement officer.
They asked you to leave early, is that correct?
I'm leaving now.
No, sir, you're not until you identify.
All right, I'm just going to sit here and remain silent.
All right, sir. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for obstructing.
Do you want me to give you your license?
Sir,
I will give you my license.
No, sir. Please put your hands behind your back.
It's in the car.
Please behind your back. Put your other hand back here, please. See your cuffs? He's a bigger guy. I don't want his...
Thank you.
I don't want him. Also take his GoPro and his phone. That's going to be taken as evidence. We'll get a search warrant for it as well. Is that too tight? No.
Yes, it is.
I'll adjust them and I'll lock them down on you, okay?
My license is in my car. If you would let me get it.
We're past this, sir. I tried to explain to you. We're trying to decide on what a trespassing.
You have to leave me go.
No, sir. It's too late by this.
In order to leave, I have to leave.
I didn't give you an order to leave.
That's right. You haven't given me an order to leave yet. I never got to that point.
No, you didn't. This is an investigation. You're under.
No, see, I have to be warned to leave first by you.
No,
and then once you
that's not the way that works.
Once you see, yes, it is.
You see these? You see this CO right here?
They didn't tell me to leave. They told me not to film.
These are the. There's no law against filming.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no law.
This is ridiculous.
Is one of y'all Willis?
Listen.
Who was Willis? I talked to on the phone.
They never told me that I had to leave.
Go ahead and.
They never told me I had to leave.
Like I said, that will be.
They told me to stop filming.
Well, like I said, and I asked you for your ID. And anytime there's an investigation, you have to identify. Okay.
Let me give you.
Mr. Bryant will be able to tell you all about this.
Let me listen. In order to trespass, arrest somebody.
You're not being arrested for trespassing.
What am I being arrested for?
Obstructing, failure to identify when I asked for your driver's license.
No. You have to fucking have a crime first.
And that's what we was trying to identify.
You didn't get to the trespassing part.
Exactly, because you wouldn't allow us.
Well, you can't give me, you have to give me a warning to leave first.
No, sir. You're not being charged with trespassing.
Yes.
Not being charged with trespassing.
You have, what am I being trespassed with?
You're not being charged with trespassing. You're being charged with obstructing.
Obstructing what? What crime?
Obstructing an officer by failure to identify.
A failure to identify is a secondary charge.
Take that off, sir.
You have to have a primary charge first. You have to have a primary charge first.
In the state of West Virginia,
you cannot.
Anytime, do you want me to talk or do you want to keep doing?
Well, the thing is I haven't been warned to go yet.
In the state of West Virginia, anytime there's a criminal investigation, you have to identify yourself when a police officer. Okay, there's Supreme Court law on that.
There is Supreme Court law on
So walk over to my car.
Thank you for putting handcuffs on those.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tie them and make sure they don't tie down.
Can you get my wallet? I need bail money.
I will.
It's in my vehicle.
You got my keys, Troop?
And lock my vehicle up, please.
Your vehicle is actually going to be towed because we can't leave it here if something happens to it.
Give me my wallet.
We will be.
Give me my wallet.
For it, okay? You bring my cuffs, sir.
You have to give a person an opportunity to leave.
You're not being charged with trespassing. I've already explained that to you.
You have to let me leave before you detain and arrest. You have to give me that opportunity.
I asked you twice for your ID.
You asked me for my ID. You did not tell me to leave.
Grab there. Like I said, you can talk to Mr. Bryant. And if you feel like you've been wrong, then he can file his paperwork in court, and we can go from there, and you have your day in court, okay?
You will too.
Good. It's up there on the top. Right there. It's about y'all's fault. Like I said, he's been doing this for a little bit, so.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's no problem. Who was Willis that I was speaking to?
He's in the car right there.
He's in the car here. Let me go talk to him. Go ahead and have K&D come up and run his driver's license. I also need a triple I on him as well. You Willis? Okay. Come back here so I can talk to you real quick, okay? All right, here. I talked to you on the phone. We were dealing with a sex offender registration. You called and you said you had somebody up here that was trespassing, yes, and you had asked to leave on the phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you could just from start to finish tell me what happened, how it started, okay, and what you did.
Sure, absolutely. All right. So first, I got off notification from the operations lieutenant that there was a gentleman down.
Okay. And then just to clarify, okay, everything on this side of the road is federal property. Is that correct? Everything on this side, because we used to have a lease over here for hunting. All of this is state property.
Right.
So this doesn't have anything to do with the federal.
Right.
That's correct, right?
Yes.
Everything on this side, federal property, correct? Okay. Right. Go ahead.
All right. So he's sitting down there. He's got his camera up. I go down there and approach him because, like I said, I'm responding to someone who's filming.
Yeah.
Outside of the perimeter. Asked the gentleman what he's doing. He said it's none of my fucking business.
Yeah.
You know, he's very combative, very argumentative. He says, you know, leave me alone. I don't have to tell you this, don't tell you that. I said, yeah, sir, you can't film a federal correctional institution. You're on federal property. You need to
leave. Where was he at when you first came in contact with him?
Down at the bottom of the hill.
Was he on this side of the road? Or was he on this? Was he on the side of the road where the institute was, or what was he on?
He was like parallel. He's in the middle.
Okay.
Right, so at the time, he's got his tripod set up in front of his car. He's filming right, okay, first make contact.
Yeah.
And then of course he's being combative, argumentative. Notify operations lieutenant. Operations lieutenant comes down. Okay. Then he kind of starts. At one point he comes over here, doesn't he? He comes over here to the side, like he's moving all about. So.
And the entire time was he on the property?
Well.
Was you here as well?
Yes.
Okay. So
when I came down, he was right in the corner on our property.
Okay. So again, I spoke to him. Everything on this side of the road is federal property. That's the way it's always been understood. Because there was a lease over here, and this is state property on this side, right? So everything over here is federal property. Okay.
Is there any way?
Let me finish talking to him, and then I'll talk to you. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So what happened next?
So forth. When operations lieutenant responds, he makes contact with the individual, gets the same response. The whole time the gentleman's being very argumentative, very combative. Then he starts moving his vehicle, moves his equipment, then he comes over here on the side. And at that time, his car is parked on the side of the road. He does step out.
Okay.
He begins filming again. Then he gets angry at that. Then he comes up here. We move here to monitor his activities. He's on this side of the road again.
Okay. On y'all's property.
Right. He's right over there. Then when y'all make contact, is of course the last location, and he's there.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever ask him to leave yourself?
Yes.
Okay. How many times?
Like once. I asked him, like I said, when I first made contact, asked him what he's doing. Told me none of my business.
I know that you have a F.C.I. McDowell cap on. Did you identify yourself as a F.C.I. officer employed with the prison?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I asked him to leave, and then that's when he was very, argumentative. That's when I called Lieutenant Payne.
Okay.
And then we went from there.
All right. I will get your information in just a second, and then I'll talk to you real quick. Okay. You can come down here. Are you the lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You tell me what happened from the time you got the call.
Time I got the call, came down here with Mr. Willis. He is on our corner of our property.
Okay.
He asked if I chewed, and I said, yes, sir. I said, can you please stop filming our institution? And I said, you can film anything else you want to. I have no problem with that. Just please do not film the inmates that we have right here.
Okay, but he was on F.C.I. property when he was filming. Okay.
Right, so then he walks towards his car, which is now on the road.
Okay.
Okay. So then he starts, of course, threatening.
When you say threatening, what did he say?
Come on and touch me, I'll show you.
Okay.
I said, all right, I'll touch you.
Okay.
He's got the
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to, you're combative, can you please leave?
Okay.
You're awful combative, you're cussing awful lot, can you please leave?
Okay.
And then he just starts coaching me, trying to get me to go.
Oh.
So then he moves up here. We move in the field. He's trying to bait me on this road.
Yeah.
So I went on our property.
Okay.
And so asked him to leave 6 more times.
Okay.
He moves up, asked him to leave again, and then he gets
the entire time that he was on, you asked him to leave. It was all on this side of the road. It was all on F.C.I.
and
property.
I told him he was on F.C.I. property.
At any point in time, did he say his vehicle was broke down or anything like that? Did he ever say that he was having any mechanical issues?
No, sir.
He didn't say anything like that to you.
No,
When he pulled out and moved from place to place, did you notice anything wrong with the vehicle? Did you making any smoke? Did you see any flames? Did you hear anything that would think he's having mechanical issues? Nothing like that. Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions I have. Just for future use, there's no law that we can enforce about him just filming the prison. I mean, if he was sitting on this side of the road, because again, this isn't federal property, he could sit here all day long and just and film, and there'd be nothing that we can do about it. As far as him being on your property, that's trespassing. He can't be there. He's asked to leave several times by you and also Willis. So he'll be charged with trespassing, asked to leave, and also obstructing.
So even if this is just a question, it's in our policy and in our Department of Justice BOP policy that they cannot film the inmates or our.
But just because it's a policy doesn't make it a law, though. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing. Yeah, because we have we have policies and stuff like that. But just because it's in our policy and we have to go by it, there's not a law for it. So like I said, if he was sitting on this side, he could have filmed all day long, and there's nothing that we could have charged him with. But since he was actually on his side, and then he refused to identify, that's the reason he is like he is. So we're gonna have a tow truck come pick his ride up. Since he's having mechanical issues, we can't leave it sitting there just in case an inmate would happen to hop the fence. That would be a way for them to escape. And then again, it's on y'all's property. You can have it removed. I'm just gonna get some information from you and from Willis, and then we'll be out of here. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Yes.
So in the future, if he comes back, I'm sorry, I'm all in with fever. I'm acting warden right now.
Okay, Ricky Jones.
They can only do something if he comes on the property.
Up on the property. If he's sitting over here, as long as he's not, people driving by and he's not screaming, threatening, or anything like that, and he's just sitting there and he's just videoing, there's really nothing you can do about that, because there's no law against that. Because technically over here is public property, right. But once you get on this side, that's y'all's property, and y'all have control over that and who does what and how they do it that way.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Right now.
Recording.
And then when you're released from the hospital, we'll come get you, okay?
Yep.
527 Control.
Go ahead.
Control, can you send DMS up here? This individual's advising that he is having a heart attack. What symptom?
My left, my fucking shoulder.
Your left what? Your left shoulder? Could that be just from being in handcuffs? That's okay. It's your fault there.
You understand that there's no crime here.
There is a crime.
That's an easement, man. It's a 15 minute.
Like I said,
easement.
go ahead and grab your seat there. You'll be transported to the hospital. They'll run some tests. And they're saying that they asked you to leave 6 or 7 different times.
No, they told me not to record. I got it on film, man.
Well, that's good. That's why we're going to get a search warrant for your cell phone and also your GoPro.
I don't consent to any searches.
That's why we're getting a search warrant. And it'll be in their possession until we go to court, okay? Here you go, trooper bags.
You just can't stop and ask somebody for ID.
No, sir. When I was explaining to you that this was part of an investigation, that was the issue to where you have to identify. State Supreme Court.
I can't. Give me an opportunity to leave first.
No, sir. That's not the way it works.
Listen, it's so basic. It's really law 101. That you have to give a trespass warning first. They never gave me a trespass warning. They told me not to film. They said I was fine where I was standing because they knew it was public property. They just wanted me to turn my camera, and I refused to, so I moved up here.
No, there's no law against filming the
No, there isn't a law against filming, and I'm on an easement. I was never on their property, and you could plainly see that.
Well, like I said, everything to that side.
You could plainly see that.
Like I said, I'm not going to argue with you. What's said is done, and I don't want to give you any more.
You could plainly see that that's a public easement. The public has the right to walk and film here. And if they tell you to leave, then you refuse, then you could call the police, and they have to tell you to leave.
No, they are federal correctional institutions. They are over the land,
okay? They have no jurisdiction out here. You do.
Out there on their property, they do.
This is not their property. This is a public road.
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I don't want to cause you any more stress.
This is a public road.
Like I said,
you just can't scoop somebody up because somebody over there says that I was trespassing.
Well, like I said, it's a good thing that you recorded everything.
People up. Don't you understand that? That's why I want to see a supervisor, because he'd tell you. You just can't scoop people up alongside the road and say, give me your ID because you're trespassing because somebody said that you were. You just can't do that.
Do you know how investigations work?
I know how investigations work.
So in order for me to decide whether or not you're trespassing or not, I have to ask questions. Do you agree with that?
All you have to do is you have to say leave. And then if I don't leave, then you could demand ID.
No, sir, that's not the way it works.
Yes, sir, that's the way it works.
Like I said, Mr. You can be able to...
And then if you come back on property, then you get the ID in a criminal trespass. There's a difference between trespass and criminal trespass. You jump straight to a criminal trespass, man.
Can you tell me the difference between those two trespasses?
A trespass is the landowner, if you're on their property, has to give you the opportunity to leave.
They have to tell you to leave.
They have to give you the opportunity to leave.
Have to tell you to leave. Is that correct?
They never told me to leave. They told me to stop filming.
Both of them said that they told you at least.
They aren't telling you the truth.
Well, like I said, everything's going to be captured on your. Everything's going to be captured on your cell phone and your GoPro.
But I'm going to spend a night in jail. How's that fair?
Well, sir, this could have been easy. This could have been easily.
How would you like to be scooped up off the street and demanded ID? And
well, calm down. I don't want you to get yourself upset or anything. Okay?
I did nothing wrong. I was standing.
Well, like I said, you will have your day in court.
But look at my horn. Look at my hands.
Those cuffs aren't made for comfort. I made sure they were loose.
This is punishment.
I made sure they were loose. They didn't cut into your skin.
You have been great.
I have.
And I do appreciate that. I really do. I do this across the country.
Yes.
Okay, I film.
There's
a DHS memo of 2018 stating that the citizens are allowed to film.
There's not an issue here with the filming. There's no issue whatsoever.
They had the issue with filming. That's why they told me to leave, because they said not because I wasn't trespassing, because they said I was filming. They didn't have an issue with me standing there.
Filming isn't the issue, okay? Filming. You can film anything.
That's
okay,
what I'm saying.
There's not an issue with your filming. And that's also hang on a second.
But I never trespassed. asked for them to tell me to go.
Well, listen, let me explain to you what they've told me, and then you've recorded everything, so that's going to help us out when it goes to court. It's going to be able to
but I don't have access to that film. You do.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to get a search warrant for your phone.
But you won't give that to me.
You'll get your phone and stuff back after the court is over with.
But that's too much down the road.
That's possible. It'll take
I won't be able to access my video then.
No, sir, you will not. Not until we go to court.
How am I supposed to defend myself?
You will get a call. There's something called voir dire.
Freedom of information.
No, sir. Anything that we use to charge you with, your attorney will be able to get everything. So once we get that video back from the lab, you'll be able to copy of that.
Just scoop people up off the side of the road because a business, and they're a business, tells you that somebody's trespassing. You can't just scoop them up alongside the road and demand ID.
Exactly.
You have to show a crime first, which trespassing is a crime.
Yes, sir. And they said that you were on their property down at the end, and that they asked you to leave.
I was in the same position. I was in the same position. I was right alongside the road here.
Over there, and again, talking to the lieutenant, and that's that lady.
Lying. They don't know the law.
That lady with the warden. All the property over here.
No. See, they put that fence there for a reason.
Okay. Well, you can talk. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. So you can talk, and we'll sit and listen to you. Okay.
That fence is the embankment. I've looked at the GIS survey before I got here. I know what I know. They're in error. So I'm being punished and I'm being handcuffed and taken to jail because they're in error. They're in error. They aren't lying. They just don't know. I tried to tell them. DHS memo of 2018 says I'm allowed to videotape any federal buildings from public property, foyers, hallways, and corridors. I was simply filming because I'm doing a story. My brother died in prison at 34 years old 20 years ago. This is why I do this. I film prisons, that's it. It's as simple as that. I don't have to inform you what I'm doing. Well, by law, I'm not required by law to tell you what I'm doing. You should have done your investigation instead of instantly handcuffing me. You didn't even talk to them before you handcuffed me. You said you were doing your investigation. Well, you're supposed to go to the complaining party first and then come to me. You just scooped me right up. Do you understand the problem with that? You said, do I know how to do an investigation? Well, that's how you do a proper investigation. You go to the party that calls you to get the information, and then you come out and continue your investigation. And then you detain if you have to, or arrest if you have to. You just scooped me up off the side of the road and handcuffed me. Even before you talked to them. Do you see how insane that is? Is your body cam on?
Yes, sir, it is. Do you not think that I spoke to one of them on the telephone before I came out here?
But that's not the same as doing a proper investigation.
Okay.
You see, your body cam's going to catch it. Now, your body cam caught it, and that's good. That I just explained how to do an investigation to you. Before you just pulled up here, and I got out of my vehicle, and you scooped me up and demanded my ID.
So we didn't talk, or I didn't try to ask you for anything, where you were parked, or how you was doing?
No, you should talk to them first.
There's two parties. That's why this trooper
But they're the calling party, not me. I didn't need your help. They did.
Well, apparently you did, because you said your vehicle was broke down.
It was, but I didn't call you.
Well, but if you're parked on the side of the road.
But I was handling that.
Well, like I said, you'll have
and I would really like to see a supervisor to clear this all up.
Monday morning you'll be able to see a supervisor.
You just can't stop in the middle of the road and scoop citizens up without doing any investigation at all. If you would have probably done the proper investigation and come back and said, listen, I need your ID because they told you that I was trespassing, then I probably may have given you my ID.
Trooper, did I not say that he was being accused of trespassing? That's the reason I needed his ID.
No, but you have to talk to them first. You can't just, that's a phone call. It's called hearsay in court. A phone call is a hearsay in court before you physically talk to somebody. You don't know their name, you don't know their looks or nothing. It's hearsay on a phone call. You arrested me on hearsay.
And again, you'll have your day in court.
Hearsay, a phone call, you can't extrapolate and do a proper investigation by a phone call alone. Didn't they teach you that in trooper school? You have to do a proper investigation before you detain. And then you move from the detention to an arrest. You instantly arrested me. Do you understand how weird that is? How weird did you just pull up and just handcuffed me? Give me your ID. You're trespassing. I said this is an easement. You give me your ID. You never even let me really get that much out. You told me to keep on calming down, but I'm trying to tell you this is a public easement. This is the public. They don't have authority out here. I'm allowed to walk up and down this road without a police officer coming and yanking me off the street because they called. If a private business called out here and said, hey, there's a guy on the sidewalk filming, would you go up there and just immediately arrest them? See, I'm glad your body cam is on, because this is all really important stuff.
Yeah. It
is. You understand your error.
I'm not making an error.
You are. You didn't even talk to them first before you made...
Calm down. I don't want you to get yourself upset. EMS will be here in just a second. What we'll do,
you understand that
we'll get to the hospital. You'll go and get your cruiser. You'll sit with him at the hospital. Once he's released, we'll go ahead and process him and go from there.
Because there is no trespassing. It's a public easement, and you just tortured me for nothing. Look at that.
Yes, sir. Like I said, you're a bigger man, and again, I have the.
See the hand. See. What's your name?
Trooper Jones.
Trooper. Or what's your first name?
Trooper Jones. R.L. Jones.
What's your first name, sir?
R.L. Jones.
Robert. What's your badge number?
It is 527.
And what's your name, sir?
L.A. Beggs.
Say again.
L.A. Beggs.
Beggs. And what's your badge number?
632.
Thank you. Do you get off just scooping people off the road like this? Do you enjoy doing this? I mean, it's not like I'm a hardened criminal, brother. I'm a Marine. I'm a veteran that fought for this fucking country.
I appreciate it. I'm a veteran myself. Thank you for your service.
And you just scoop a veteran right up off the road without really doing an investigation.
Again, thank you for your service.
See, your condescension is amazing. Now you're being condescending.
No, sir, I'm being serious. I'm thanking you for your service from one veteran to another.
Yeah, and then you scoop me up off the road for filming in public.
That's not why you're being arrested. I've told you several times.
You just got done saying I'm being arrested for trespassing now.
Trespassing is different from filming. Filming and obstructing is different.
Then why did you arrest me for filming?
I've already explained that to you. I'm not going to
explain it again.
Because I
wouldn't identify. Well, you have to have a primary charge first before you identify somebody.
Again.
And then if they fail, if I commit a crime and then fail to ID, then you can add that charge on, failure to ID. Otherwise, you have to have a crime first and then charge me with failure to ID if I refuse.
Again,
that's how it works. I'm glad we got this on body cam again, because again, I'm educating you how you do things.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. So what I'm saying is you're in the wrong, and I think you need to call a supervisor.
No, sir. You'll see I'll give you the supervisor's number, and you'll be able to talk to them.
How am I supposed to get it without my phone?
Find a phone. You have to either buy another one, or if you have another phone, go from there.
You're being smarmy, and you know this is the way it happens. That's why you're being so calm and so sweet and so nice. Because inside you're saying, "Good, you dirty rotten son of a bitch, aren't you?"
I'm not thinking anything like that. I've never said that. My body language, nothing. I've not raised my voice to you. I've not said anything like that.
You don't realize that you've erred here.
No, sir, I'm not.
Drop down.
Okay. If I committed a crime and then I failed to ID, then you could get me for failure to ID. It's a secondary charge, it's called. You arrested me for failure to ID first. Now then you brought the trespassing charge on me, right? No, here. You arrested me for failure to ID first, right?
Again, you'll have your day for it.
Here, say yes. You arrested me for failure to ID first, correct? That's what you said, correct? You have to have a primary crime first. Then, if the person refuses to ID, then you could charge him with that.
You got his ID still? Okay. We're good. Let's go get your cruiser. Go from there.